When it comes to promoting a tourism business, as you see here, the Google business profile, I have this in order of how I would recommend you approach it. Blogging, search advertising, and social media. And social media is specifically at the bottom because, it really, the type of traffic that you get from social media, you have no idea what's going on. You can reach everybody, right? So the local businesses that selling to the man around the corner, they can benefit from social media. But what you don't get is any intent. And tourism, and selling to tourists, it's a very time sensitive thing. So you want to catch that person just before they go on their trip. You don't really want to catch them, somebody that has no intent of going on a trip. And you don't want to catch that person who just finished a trip. You'd be wasting your money, right? But Google is where you're able to practically read people's mind. You can tell that this person more than likely planning a trip. Why else would they be searching for that? And it's the only place I see that you can get this type of traffic. I mean, other than, it's not just Google, you have Bing as well, but Google controls a very high percentage of the search market. And like I said, search traffic, you're pretty much reading people's mind. Now, I'll go through these in detail so you can see how I approach it. The first one is the Google business profile. Now, any business at all, it don't matter, travel or whatever, the Google business profile is basically the modern day Yellow Pages. It's Google's business directory. So if somebody is looking for a business, Google is going to show it, and Google controls all the search. So it's a directory just like the Yellow Pages, but it's way, way better. And I'll just quickly show you, just in case you're not familiar with it. But as it says here, free evergreen exposure. You don't have to pay to be in the Google business directory. It's local. So somebody has to be specifically looking for, let's say a tour company in this particular area for your business to show up, or they have to be located in that area and looking for a tour company, and the business would show up. So the traffic that you get is people that are right there, or they're interested in your area, and it's what we call high intent, right? So when you think about the customer journey, typical person, I have a trip coming up next month. I start doing my research online. What am I going to do when I go to Mexico or to Cancun, whatever it is? What am I going to do there? What are the best places to see? All of that. I do my research first. And then once I have a good idea of what I can do while I'm there, that's when I say, all right, let me find a tour company to help me with doing these things I want to do, right? Because no, that's what I need. So the person that's actually looking for a business, they're pretty much at the finishing line, right? They're ready now. They know what they want, and they're just looking for a business to serve them. And let me pull it up here. Just so that you see, I'm sure you've seen it, but tour company in Montego Bay, let's just look that up. First thing at the top is the ads, which is fine. Typically speaking, these, when there are no ads, which they're not always ads, but they're ads now. And depending on where you are, there might not be ads. But these businesses here these are in the Google business directory. Now, to benefit from this, you have to be in the top 3, right? Because there's a lot more. If you click on view more businesses down here, you'll see probably hundreds more that are in Montego Bay, but the top 3 show up right here, right? So, and I can tell you for sure that there are thousands of people looking for this every month. These people down here are getting phone calls every single day for free. And like you see, they're not paying to advertise. So it's worth the effort to get your business here. And depending on where you are, it might, I can tell you, Jamaica is not that competitive when it comes to getting your website here. And Some of you are from other islands where it might even be easier. I don't know, but there are just certain things you have to do to get your business profile here. And I mean, just to give you a general overview, I don't want to get too deep into this, right? But what you see on the Google homepage is exactly what they like. So if you decided that you wanted to show up, you want your business to show up for tour company in Montego Bay, well, Google is showing you right here the kind of businesses or what they want to see in the profile. So first thing, you wouldn't have your category be tour company because the category they're featuring is tour operator, 7 years in business, 5 years, 25 years in business. You make sure Google knows that how long you've been in business. They all have their websites featured, and the services, you can look through the services that they offer. I mean, the bottom line is Google kind of give you hints of what they want to see. So you can go through, make your notes, fill out your profile completely and get your reviews, and you can compete for this spot. It's a competition, right? But, there's a little bit more to it than that, but that is the basic idea, is that you're competing for the top 3. These people are making money every month without spending any money on advertising. All right, so free, evergreen exposure, local, high intent customers, trust and credibility, because, you come here, you see 5 years, 25 years in business, you feel comfortable, you see 210 5-star reviews. This company must be a company I can trust. Plus, I know Google doesn't just let anybody in here. So the fact that Google has them in the top 3, it makes me feel comfortable to contact them, right? But you have to be in the top 3. If you're not, then you're missing out on a lot of traffic that could be yours for free. All right, so that's the Google business profile. That, as I said, every business I interact with, that's the first thing I say, get that right, because that can generate a whole lot of phone calls for your business. The next one on the list is blogging. And I know most people hear that. They're like, never. But, don't be so quick to turn your back on blogging. I'll quickly show you an example of a blog that I have. I created this blog some time ago, thingstodoinjamaica.com. And the approach to blogging is, this is what I want to show you, the type of posts. So what it is that I do the research. Everybody still here?
Yes, we're still here.
Man,
Yes, we are.
this is what it is living in Jamaica. Would you believe my light just cut off on me? But anyway, it cut off, it came back, and thank you. I'm happy that you guys are still here. Let's get back to it. So, where was I? I tell you, I keep getting distractions. But what we do the research up front. Do the research up front, all right? So Google gives you this data. If you go to Google Ads, you have to create a Google Ads account, and you basically punch in a keyword, and I should show you. I mean, Google will give you all of the data on how many people are looking for, let's say, Kingston night market per month.
Christian, they're no longer sharing, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Share here and here. All right, perfect. We're back on track. Right, so like I said, all of this data you can get for free. So what I did was I did the research up front, found out the keywords that people were looking for, affordable, all-inclusive resorts, whatever it is, main key, all of these pages here, they might not generate a lot of traffic individually, but when you pull them all together, this site gets about 2,000 people every single day. So when you pull all of these small, a 30 here, a 50 there, when you pull them all together, it amounts to a good amount of traffic that we get for free. I don't pay for this. All I do is pay. I don't even look at this site. I don't use it anymore. And I can tell you, I thank myself, about 10 years ago when I started this, and it really is like you plant a tree that just keeps on giving, So, and I didn't write any of these blog posts. It was an investment as far as I'm concerned. I paid for each and every one of these that are here. All I did was research to say, I want a blog post on this topic, and they created it, and we have it uploaded, and now it still gets a good amount of traffic. Years later, it's still going well. So that's the idea. I'm not asking you to do a blog. Like, a lot of people think of a blog as, let me share my thoughts, or, and there's nothing wrong with doing that kind of blog. That might be therapeutic to some people, but what we are doing is we're getting in front of people, and we're helping Google, because when people go to Google and they type in, things like the Rastafari movement or whatever it is, Google want a page to show them. The person searching for it, what are we going to show them? Well, you just have to create the pages and say, well, here's a good page for your Google, and you get in front of that traffic. And over time, that snowballs. And, at first, it might seem very slow, right? So as I said, it's free evergreen exposure. And at first, it might seem very slow because you have a new website, but how it works is every single time you make a post to your site, and this is, let's imagine you're doing this on your business site now. Every time you make a post, it's like it's calling the Google, we call them the Google spiders. It's calling them back to come and crawl through your page and index what they've found. And the more they keep coming back and crawling, is the more they're going to say, all right, all of these pages deserve to be lifted up, because this is an active website. It's not just a stagnant set of pages that never change, right? So you having a blog will just boost your traffic overall. But what I'd say is, don't be discouraged at first. It took a very long time to really be able to generate the kind of traffic that I generate with that. But and when I say very long, I mean it probably took a few years, but you might not even need that amount of traffic. You do start to get some traffic right away, and it snowballs. Builds authority and trust. If every single time somebody is researching Jamaica, they're looking for all these different things to do, and they keep coming across things to do in Jamaica, then, if things to do in Jamaica was a business, they'd feel comfortable with that business, and it captures the prospects in the planning phase. So if you remember up here, Google business profile, you capture them at the end of the buy, what we call the buyer's journey, or the buying cycle, whatever it is, right? You capture them at the end when they're ready. So they have high intent now, they're ready to buy, but the blog is in the planning, when they're doing their research and trying to put together their plan. So you're now capturing people even earlier in the buying process, long before they land in Jamaica. A blog will help you to do it. But if you're really against it, the truth is you don't have to do it, right? Because my absolute favorite type of traffic is search advertising. And you guys probably guessed that already. But the reason that a lot of people are afraid of advertising is just the approach, right? So advertising isn't supposed to be an expense, it's an investment. And the only way it really becomes an investment is when you have proper tracking in place. So you need to know that for every dollar that I spend on Google, it brings back 3, it brings back 5, 10, whatever it brings back, you need to track it down to the T. And if you're not tracking it, then you're basically just looking at it as an expense. You're just saying, well, this is just a business expense. I have to pay this every month. But that's not how advertising works. Wherever you're advertising, you need a way to track what's going on. If you even put an ad in the newspaper, I recommend that you put a separate phone number that you wouldn't normally use, so you can see how many calls you got. Don't matter what it is, you need to know what you're doing, what you're getting in return, or you just basically throwing money out there. But the idea is, with advertising, when you start to see your numbers and you start to get the data and you start to realize that, well, I put $1, every dollar spent here, it brings back, let's say 3, for example. I'm going to go find $10,000 and make it bring back 30,000. Like, you can be confident when you have the data. Is when you don't have the data and you're just trying a thing and you just say, let me boost this post. That's what a lot of people do. You're not getting any, you don't know what you're getting for that and you can't scale it. And the idea is you want to be able to scale it as far. You can take that to the bank and get the money because you are sure of what your return will be, right? So the tracking is crucial when it comes to advertising. And once you really wrap your brain around how to properly track, then search advertising or any kind of advertising it's no longer intimidating, and you're no longer thinking, well, how much am I going to spend per month? You're going to spend as much as you can find because you know it brings back a profit. All right, I'm sure you get the point. It's the most powerful form of advertising for tourism. Like I said, it's like you're reading people's mind, right? You're seeing exactly what they're thinking. If somebody wake up and them have a pain in them foot, them going to Google. Like, you can see what people have going on. There's no other way to know if this person have a pain in them foot. And if they're planning a trip, then there's certain keywords that they're going to be looking for that tells you this trip that this person is planning is specifically to where I am. They're coming here, and this is my ideal customer. I don't know of any other type of advertising that gives you that, right? It's immediate results. So while the blog might take a little time to build up and snowball, and your Google business profile, you're competing. So eventually you'll get there and you'll start to reap the benefits. But with this, if you place an ad tomorrow, you start getting traction tomorrow. As soon as your ad is approved, Google will start sending you traffic. And another thing I wanted to show you is people get intimidated. We typed in tour company in Montego Bay. You see Viator, you see TripAdvisor, but you also see Mobile Vacations, right? So people get intimidated. They figure these companies are spending hundreds of thousands on this simply because it works. But that don't matter to you. You don't have to have that kind of budget to come in and get your slice of the pie. Google will sell, if you have $200, Google will sell you your 200 worth of clicks. Because remember, this is a pay-per-click platform, by the way. So you only pay when people click on your ads. So if you only have a $200, you throw it up. I don't know how much they have. I don't know if that's a big company, but they will just sell you that amount of clicks. So don't feel intimidated because you're seeing these other big boys there. They buy what they can buy and you buy what you can buy. And like I said, it's scalable. Once you start running this and you get a grip on your conversions, you can turn up the volume. You can turn it up and increase the amount of people that you're exposing your business to very, very easily. With the blogging and with the Google business profile, as much as I love them, you can't scale those. Those you just have to, you take what you get and you're happy that it's free. But this is how you really start to turn the volume up on the amount of people that you're attracting, right? So that is search advertising. I think I've stressed enough how much this is my absolute favorite type of advertising in the world. And, I will touch on social media because a lot of people love it. And, I want to show you how we've used it and what I think makes the most sense if you're going to really use social media, right? So when it comes to the advertising side of social media, like I said, you can boost a post if you want to, but, and at the end of the day, it's just extremely difficult for you to track your return unless you're selling locally. I mean, and there are exceptions to this rule, but if your customer is mainly somebody who is planning a trip, then it's going to be very difficult for you to target those people with the ads. But that doesn't mean that it's useless. So one of the things that I like about it is that, you know, people will find you however they find you, and they might decide, let me check out this business on social media, right? So they might go check out your social media profile, and you having a strong profile will help to you know, it makes your business look more credible and trustworthy. So this is the profile. What did I do with the screen a while ago? I threw it away. This is the profile for the website I was showing you earlier, things to do in Jamaica.com. Right. As you see, we have a lot of followers, right? So there's a particular way I approached this when we were very active on it. We're not that active, but I'm going to share how we do it. Now, there's this thing called curated content. It's perfectly legal. People love when you do it. And the point is that these posts that you're looking at, none of them are ours, because the reality is that these platforms, every one of them, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whichever one, their main priority is getting people to stay on the platform for as long as possible, right? The longer you stay on the platform, browsing through and looking at all these things, is the more ads they can show you. And they get paid for every time somebody views an ad, right? So they want content on their profile that keep people hooked. Now, oh man. Now, when you make a post to your profile, let's say you have 1,000 followers, you know, the platform, whichever one it is, they're not going to share it with just everybody that follows you, right? They're just going to share it with a tiny percentage to kind of give it a test run. And depending on how that first test group responds, they'll decide, all right, we're going to share it with more people. I'm sorry, give me 1 second. Let me connect to a different network. Man. Everybody here? Are you hearing me?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, good. Thought I lost you for a second. Man, full of distractions today, but they won't show your post. You have 1,000 people following you. You make a post, they might show it to 50. And they say, let's see how these people respond. If a good amount of the 50 respond, they'll show it to a couple of hundred. If it continues, they'll show it to everybody that follows you. And if it continues to perform well, they'll show it to even people who don't follow you. And that's how your posts go viral, right? And when they start showing it to all these new people, that's how you start to grow and get more followers. So when people have their social media profile and all they're posting is promotional material and they're posting about things that they're selling, nobody's going to share that. It's not going to get any traction on the platform, not even the people who follow you going to see it. So I think the best way to use these platforms, you know, maybe not all the time, maybe you still post your promotional stuff, but I still promote the website with this, I'll show you. But the point is, maybe you still post your promotional stuff, but it's not every post. You know, you have to post the things that you know the platform will like, and they will share it with other people so that your profile gets exposure. So let me see. I don't really and yeah, one of the things that's important when you're doing this curated content is that you tag the person, right? So when you see a post that has gone viral, chances are it will go viral again and again and again. But so you can safely repost it and know that it will perform good, but you have to tag the person. If you don't tag them, they're going to feel like you're trying to steal their content. But if you do tag them, then they'll also benefit because, you know, they'll feel like, yeah, you're giving their profile exposure as well. You know, you're just expanding their reach. Now, let me show you how basically we use this. So imagine you're scrolling, a post goes viral. What I try to do, right, is, as I said, the things that send the signals to the platforms that this post is doing well is when it's getting a lot of likes, shares, and comments, right? When you start to get comments and people are sharing it, it sends that signal. So with that in mind, what I do is, and I don't post on this, I kind of just give the blueprint of how I want the post to be. Always ask a question, right? Always try to get the person to leave some kind of comment down here. That's what sends the signal. We want that. So we ask a question first and foremost to kind of push them to leave, to make a response. And we immediately follow up with sharing the profile. Even though the profile is here, what we want is for the person to click on the profile. So they might not follow me. They click on the profile, and when they click on it on a mobile phone, it don't work as well on desktop. But when they click on it, it takes them here, right? And they get to see the name of the business, and they get you can have what you'd call your call to action right here, where you tell people to go and visit your website. This is how we redirect people to the site. So, and the site has all the information. So when you approach it this way, what's going on? This must be a different time zone. But when you approach it this way, it's like you're fishing on the profile and you're trying to get them over to your website so that they can get caught up in your web. That's all this really is. It's a perfect system. You're not trying to get a ton of followers. Yeah, you're going to get some followers, but followers on this platform that I don't control has zero value to me unless you're some kind of influencer where you're going to start charging people to post. It has zero value to me. I earn nothing from having all these followers, right? Because that's not how I run my business. So, like I said, this is the way I think is the best way to take advantage of these platforms. You post things that you know are going to be entertaining to people so that the platform will decide to share it with everybody. You immediately ask a question so that people will leave comments below, and then you point them right back to this post clearly doesn't do it well, but you point them right back to your profile so that when they go, they'll see here and they'll see the link that you need to click on. All of the platforms that exist, this is how we approach it. And yeah, that is how we make the best use of social media. But like I said, this is, it's not necessarily the most effective way for you to attract people who are planning a trip, right? You can use it, you can make the best of it, but Google is always going to win. I hope you at least get that from what I'm saying. So we've pretty much gone over it, the whole foundation. I know some people came in late. The 3 pillars of success: you optimize your website so that when the people come from social media or wherever they find you from, they get clear details on what it is that you're trying to offer them and how they can contact you. The website is where it all goes down. Once you have that optimized, you have your automated follow-up. So now everybody that lands on your website, they either get retargeted or they find themselves on your mailing list where you're going to follow up with them. Either way, we are grabbing as many people as possible and keeping them in our web. We're not letting them go. It's all in the follow-up. Every successful business or salesperson will tell you that. And when it comes to attracting customers now, like I've been stressing, it's all about Google, in my opinion. These 3 are the most important. This just helps to build some social proof for you. And, you can fish some people off long term. But if you want immediate customers, if you want customers next week, it's search advertising. You might not, if you're just starting, you might not know exactly which keywords to target, but that is where it all goes down. That's where you can get the people that are definitely planning a trip and you can laser target them. All right.